Why Sweden paid tribute to Algeria, the secret alliance that shocked Europe. What if I told you that one of Europe's most powerful kingdoms voluntarily paid money to North African corsairs? It sounds unbelievable. While many European nations feared the mighty fleet of Algiers, Sweden made a surprising choice. Instead of fighting, it negotiated. Instead of war, it sought partnership. In 1729, a secret agreement between Sweden and Algiers changed the fate of Swedish trade in the Mediterranean. But why would a proud European kingdom bow to a North African naval power? And what did Sweden gain in return? The answer reveals a forgotten chapter of history that most history books never tell. A dangerous sea. The early 18th century was a dangerous time for maritime trade. The Mediterranean Sea was one of the world's most important commercial routes. Merchant ships carried timber, iron, textiles, spices, and precious goods between Europe, North Africa, and the Ottoman Empire. But there was a problem. The Regency of Algiers had become one of the most powerful naval states in the Mediterranean. Its fleet was respected, feared, and impossible to ignore. For centuries, Algerian corsairs had captured vessels belonging to nations that refused diplomatic agreements. As Swedish merchants expanded their trade into Mediterranean waters, they faced a difficult question: fight the Algerian fleet or find another solution. Sweden's costly problem. Sweden was no weak nation. It had built a formidable military and was one of Northern Europe's most influential powers. Yet distance created a serious challenge. Sending warships from the Baltic Sea to protect every merchant vessel in the Mediterranean was expensive and impractical. Every captured ship meant lost cargo. Every imprisoned sailor meant political pressure at home. Swedish merchants demanded protection. The government needed a solution. And quickly. The unexpected decision. Many expected Sweden to prepare for war. Instead, Stockholm chose diplomacy. Swedish diplomats opened negotiations with Algiers. The discussions were difficult. Both sides understood the stakes. Finally, in 1729, an agreement was reached. Sweden agreed to pay tribute and provide valuable gifts. In return, Algerian authorities guaranteed the safety of Swedish ships sailing through the Mediterranean. The result was remarkable. Swedish merchants could now trade with far greater confidence. Cargo moved more freely. Profits increased. And Swedish commerce flourished. Why Algiers accepted? For Algiers, this was more than a financial arrangement. The Regency viewed these treaties as recognition of its naval power and political influence. Every agreement signed by a European nation reinforced Algiers' status as a major Mediterranean power. The treaty with Sweden demonstrated something important. Even powerful European kingdoms preferred negotiation when faced with the reality of Algerian naval strength. The relationship became stable and mutually beneficial. Trade expanded. Diplomatic contacts increased. And both sides gained advantages without firing a single cannon. A partnership that worked. For decades, Swedish ships traveled under the protection of the treaty. Merchants who once feared capture now crossed the Mediterranean with greater security. Meanwhile, Algiers benefited from tribute payments and stronger diplomatic relations. The arrangement may seem unusual today, but in the world of the 18th century, it was practical politics. Nations often chose economic cooperation over costly wars. Sweden had calculated the risks, and peace proved far cheaper than conflict. So why did Sweden pay tribute to Algiers? Not because it was weak, not because it was defeated, but because it understood something many nations eventually learned. Sometimes the smartest victory is avoiding war altogether.